shall overcome. We shall overcome.
This was the biggest excitement of my teenage years. I had never been to a demonstration before. It was such a risky undertaking that I didn't even tell my parents. I could see that it was part of history, yes, that something big was happening. And I wanted to not only be part of this event, but I wanted to be part of this movement. I'm Dr. Clayborne Carson, author of Martin's Dream, My Journey and the Legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. Quite frankly, in 1963, I could not have imagined myself being a professor of history at Stanford University, or editing the papers of Martin Luther King, or coming back here to design this memorial. These are things that were beyond my imagining as a young black teenager whose opportunities were quite limited at that time. Just very unexpectedly, Mrs. King called me, offers me this idea of being part of the King Papers project. And I wasn't sure I wanted to become a biographer. But I think after talking with her and really thinking about it, I felt that if I turned down a possibility like that, I would regret it for the rest of my career.
We shall overcome. Because of that hopeful vision, because of Dr. King's moral imagination, barricades began to fall and bigotry began to fade. New doors of opportunity swung open for an entire generation.
President Obama was very much influenced by Martin Luther King, and I think in his heart he sees his vision being very close to Martin Luther King's vision. But there was that moment when he received the Nobel Peace Prize, when he made that distinction between him and Gandhi and King, and saying, I can't be like them because I have to deal with this radical evil called terrorism. As if Gandhi and King didn't have to deal with the radical evil of their time, which was terroristic, and that was colonialism and the Jim Crow system. You know, I understand that being president is different than giving a speech at the Lincoln Memorial, but that's not an excuse for not using whatever powers are at your disposal to try to bring about this better society that King envisioned. King never held any political office, but I assume that if he had held political office, he would have seen as his overriding responsibility to deal with the people who are at the bottom of the American social structure, the people who don't have opportunity, and that's what you use political power to accomplish. It's wrong to think of his dream as something that has been achieved. At the end of his life, he was saying, my dream has been unfulfilled. And that this notion of an unfulfilled dream is what he died with. I think we're still at that stage. We still have unfulfilled dreams.